Well, I'm here again with Tim and with Garrett from Elgee Natural, and we made some awesome video footage taking a tour of your property and all of the food that you're growing, some amazing footage that you have to make sure you see. But now we're going to really focus on Moringa, which is their specialty. From what I've heard, people have taken Moringa plants, you know, to third world countries.
Oh, absolutely.
In almost an emissions sense. Why is that?
Yeah, mainly the thing is a lot of these third world countries, they're facing certain problems. A lot of them are drought and just lack of good quality nutrition. And the best part about the Moringa tree is that it thrives in drought. It does really well where it has the least amount of rainfall. And it is able to extract nutrients out of the soil at a very poor soil. So if you look on a map and see where there is malnutrition and where Moringa does well, they tend to overlap very well. And so instead of sending these countries food supplements, a lot of people are sending them seeds, and they're able to grow their own food. A lot of them are growing them at the cultural meeting places like the churches, the schools. They're using those areas to grow lots of Moringa, and the people are able to feed themselves. You know, in my business, Elgee Natural, we really focus on the leaves. The leaves have tons of nutrition, lots of chlorophyll, you know, more protein than beef when dehydrated and things like that. But every single part of the plant has its own medicinal properties. The seed pods, you can eat them when they're young. You can eat them like asparagus or like green beans. When they get older, we tend to dry them out and use the seeds. The seeds can be consumed as a nutritional supplement, and they're just absolutely amazing with their vitamins that they have, as well as you can extract the seed. You can press the seed and extract an oil. And the oil is for deep penetrating healing. It's also used in lubrication for very fine tuned items like watches, but we use it mainly externally for your skin, and we've seen just extraordinary results when dealing with eczema, psoriasis, infections, funguses, just any ailment on your skin. Just a little Moringa oil does absolute wonders. So that's from the seeds. Now, once you extract the oil from the seed, what you're left with is a seed, they call it the seed cake. And it's like a powdery substance, which is everything that this seed has except for the oil. And if you were to take that and mix it with non-potable water and let it sit, it actually attracts all of the toxins and all of the debris in the water, and now the water is now drinkable. So they're using it for clarifying water. And in these countries where you have drought and whatnot, having clean potable water is extremely important. So you're getting your food from the leaves, the oil from the seeds, and you're getting a water detoxifying system from the seed cake. And then the bark has its own medicinal uses. The roots have their own medicinal uses. To where if these people only had one crop as a Moringa, they could survive. I've also seen stories of, you know, jails and penitentiaries and other third world countries using that as well for the same purpose, them just not having enough money to feed them, to where they're actually growing their own food. They call it the miracle tree for a reason.
Yeah. How would I take a branch off this? What's the...
All right, so basically we have a branch here that I've kind of brought. And this is the Moringa oleifera, which is different than this Moringa. This is the African Moringa here. They're both incredible. They just grow a little bit differently. So this is the Moringa oleifera. This is what a typical branch would look like. And you can see here we have some flowers. And then down here is a seed pod. So we just pop that off. And this one is another week or two would be ready for the seeds, for extracting the seeds out of here, for pressing into oil or consuming. But to take the normal branch, you just hold it. I put my thumb right underneath it, and you just pop it, and it comes right off. And that's how we take the leaf. This is considered one leaf of the Moringa. And then you have the leaflets. So once again, we just take them, and you just strip these guys off. Very simple.
When I watched you do this last time, that's exactly what I did. It was as easy as you just made it look. And that handful, and that's about how much I put in one salad.
So yeah, this would be enough for a salad. And people say, what does it taste like? It's green. I tend to describe the taste somewhere between arugula and kale. It's got a little peppery kick like arugula, and once it's dehydrated, the flavor tends to be a little bit more mild. So if you're a flavor sensitive person, we always recommend either in the powdered form, which is going to be mixed into anything preferably raw, which is your juices, your smoothies, oatmeal, yogurt, when you make your own salad dressings for the week, anything like that, hummus, salsa, just mix it right in there. And in the fresh form, you can take this and sprinkle it on your salads. We put it on sandwiches, and I mix it into pesto, different things like that. Wherever you would be using like an arugula or a kale fresh, or fresh herbs, that's when you can use the fresh leaves. But to get the amount of nutrition that your body would really like to get from the moringa, you just want to consume larger quantities. And if you sprinkle a couple leaves on your salad, it's going to help you, but to get the pure benefits to where your life is changing because you're taking the moringa, we always recommend the powder or the capsules because you're able to get more of that in your body in a much easier form. If I told most people to eat this whole handful, they would look at me like I was crazy. But if I took this and dehydrated it and I put it into, it ended up being 1 teaspoon of powder that they mixed in some pineapple juice, they'd be like, okay, yeah, no problem.
Now, you do bring up something, just a thought I had, because obviously, I'm in the aloe business, and some of our people have to drink large amounts of aloe, and there's lots of competition in the market, and people could actually go to the store and buy an aloe vera juice.
Oh, yeah.
I have seen moringa like soda in a can.
Oh yeah. It's at some point it becomes I hate to use the word gimmicky, but it is, and that's, you just need to get the best quality of the product in your body in the least amount of processing, to where once it's mixed in a soda, once it's mixed in other candy bar type things, yes, you're going to be getting benefits. It's going to be helping you as opposed to, it's not going to hurt you. But if you want to truly know what moringa can do, you just have to get a certain quantity of it in your body. I kind of tell people, it's kind of like brushing your teeth. If you brush your teeth once a month, it's not going to hurt you, it's going to help you. But the true benefits is when you do it on a daily basis, multiple times a day, to where a little bit of moringa sprinkled on a salad is not going to be bad. But when you get larger quantities, that's when the true benefits happen.
Yeah. Why I still have this in my hand, you said this was moringa...
Oleifera.
And this one was...
we call this one the African moringa, and you can see here. Let me just grab one here.
Let's look at some of the differences.
This tree right here is a large tree, so the leaves are going to be larger. This is a really healthy tree and a happy tree. This is a very good example. But the main thing is that the size of the leaves. If I was to pull some off of here and show you, these are probably, I'd say, the size of maybe a dime or a nickel. And these are closer to like a $50 or a quarter size. So the leaves are larger. The trunk of the tree is it's very thick. It almost it reminds me of like a baobab at some point. And the nutritional value is very similar. It's not incredibly different. If you were consuming African moringa as opposed to moringa oleifera, you'd be still doing very good for yourself, to where they're so similar, it's not much of a difference.
And your preference?
I mean, I grow the moringa oleifera. It grows better for me, and for a business and somebody that's harvesting more often, the oleifera seems to work better. The African moringa, I believe, is a nicer dooryard plant. It looks beautiful, as well as nutritious. Okay. So if I only had one, I might do the African moringa, but if I was planting many of them to harvest, then I would probably do the oleifera.
Okay, great. What are some things to watch out for if I was shopping for, in a health food store looking for moringa products? What would I watch out for?
Yeah, the main thing is that there's not that many moringa farmers here in the States, and I would say 95+% of all the moringa on the market is coming from outside the country, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just that sometimes there's different practices. And a lot of people see the little organic symbol and they think that that's amazing. Well, organic mainly has to do with the way that it was grown, which the main difference is between good moringa and maybe not so good moringa is the processing. The processing is what it comes down to. So right here I don't need to show you the name. It's just a moringa that we had gotten, somebody had shown us, and it's organic. It's this one particularly is coming out of India, and just to show you, this is what the average moringa on the market looks like. And if you look at it, you can see more of an olive colored, maybe almost brownish.
See that? Not really.
And here's a little sample of mine.
Oh wow.
Day and night difference.
Oh my.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
And you can see the difference.
Let me see if we can.
All the nutrition, how healthy it is. It looks alive.
And
the taste is obviously going to be different.
Oh, the taste is different. The smell, I mean, obviously you guys can't smell it, but you should be able to see it. The main thing is that the color change is the result of different processing techniques. So our moringa, we never bring it above 112 degrees. So all of the it's completely raw. We don't kill the enzymes. And it goes from the tree to our dehydrator in the least amount of time possible, which is usually about less than 2 hours. From the time it's physically on the tree to the time that it's physically in the dehydrating system, within a half hour to 2 hours. And then we just lock in that nutrition. It never goes above 112 degrees, and we try and dehydrate it as fast as possible at the lowest possible temperature. And what that results in is the most close to nature product as we can get. And a lot of other companies, they're trying to dehydrate it faster, so they use lots of heat as well as dehydrating other parts of the tree. We only use the little leaflets like we just showed you, and other companies might use a little bit more of the stems and the sticks and the branches, you know, to build up their weight, and there's just not the same amount of nutrition in there. So we're all about optimizing the highest amount of nutrition possible, and you can see the difference. And then if you ever happen to take it, you will feel the difference. People don't take moringa because somebody said it was good for them. You take it because when you take it, you feel amazing. Yeah. And I mean, the proof, you can see it.
You know, I don't have to know anything about moringa and processing. You know, if I look at these two choices here, one is just magnetic, and it says this is what you want. You know, I don't have to know anything to know this one is better for me. It's inherent. It's innate. You just know. Yes.
I mean, this is fresh. That's dried. Versus that. I mean, you can see things have happened.
I'm going to have to take a picture of this so that we can put it on the video nice and clear and let people really see that. You know, we'll do probably a picture just like that where you see the two side by side. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we appreciate it, and that's kind of our whole business, is that we don't want to be the cheapest out there. We don't want to, you know, compete against these huge giant companies. What we want to do is provide the highest quality possible for people that truly need it, you know? And that's people, that is everybody, especially people that are sick, people that are dealing with physical diseases. That's why they come to us, because we have the product. Moringa is an amazing tree. We don't have to tell you too much more about that. Moringa is amazing. But you also want to make sure that the source of moringa that you are consuming has been treated with the respect that the tree deserves. And that's where we come in. We do this the way you would do it. Just treat it with lots of respect, try and keep the integrity of the plant, and pass it on to the customers in a form that is easy for them to consume, as well as they are getting the most out of it.
Here's an example of just another a way of taking moringa. We've just taken the time to take that beautiful powder. Let's open it up for you. And you can see the vegetarian capsules. Just convenient.
Same thing. You see that beautiful color, you know, right through the capsule there,
you know,
compared to the, I'll say, browner.
Yeah, and there's many different ways of getting it in your system, you know. If you are physically making a juice or a smoothie every morning, I recommend getting the powder. The powder is great. You just mix it right in. You're working out, doing yoga, you're doing your protein shakes, whatever it is. Get the powder, mix it right in, you're good to go. The capsules, on the other hand, those are your convenience. Those, there's no excuses. You get the capsules, you keep them either on your counter in your kitchen, you keep them at the office, you keep them anywhere that you know that when you see them, you're going to get them. Because it can only help you when you get it in your body. You know, I've had a lot of customers, they buy the powder and they, you know, I talk to them after a couple of weeks and, well, it's just sitting there and they're not getting it in their system. You have to get it in your body. And if you know that you are not going to make a juice or a smoothie every morning, just get the capsules. You're going to get the benefits of the Moringa without having to go through the process of bringing out the blender and everything else. Otherwise, the powder is a great option as well.
Amazing. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. How many milligrams would a normal serving be? How many capsules is a normal serving?
Well, yeah, the main thing is because this is a natural supplement, it's not a pharmaceutical grade, you know, you have to get the amount of these in your body that your body likes, and that's different for everybody. So what we kind of mention to people is a lot of people start off with 2 caps a day in the morning, you know, and because it's so powerful, we just want to get that in your body and let your body deal with it and see how your body does. The majority of our customers, they'll do 2 capsules in the morning and 2 capsules with lunch. And that seems to be a pretty good amount. I encourage people, especially people that are dealing with sicknesses and situations where they need to improve their life, to really slowly increase their dose. Every couple of days, maybe add the equivalent of an extra half a teaspoon if you're doing powder, or an extra capsule or so, every couple of days until you get to the point where after you've consumed it, your digestive system, you feel it, and things are moving. Not in a negative way, just it triggers movement. That's kind of your limit. But for me, I can take the equivalent of maybe 1.5 tablespoons of Moringa at a time, which would be the equivalent of about 4 or 5 teaspoons, and about a dozen capsules at a time, and my body does well. But I would not recommend that to a newcomer. You know, that would definitely trigger some digestive things going on and detoxing symptoms. And you definitely want to slowly work your way into something like that. But I just don't want people to think that they take their 2 capsules in the morning and 2 capsules in the afternoon, and that's it. You want to see what your body can handle.
Excellent. Is there anything else we haven't covered that is important? We talked about the seed pod. Did you want to...
Yeah, the seed pods. When they're a little bit younger, people consume them in a traditional diet, and they're great. I've eaten them myself, and to me, it's a cross between an asparagus and green bean.
I'll take this one first.
Yep, they're very difficult to find if you don't have a tree yourself. You're not going to usually find these in a store. You know, if you know somebody that has a tree, you could get them. But the main thing also is the oil. Let me just show you. So, yeah, the oil, and also we have some seeds over there as well, some dried seeds, just to kind of show you what the seeds look like.
And these seeds came out of...
Yeah, we can actually open this up and show you. These are going to be young. There's going to be some young seeds in here. They're not fully mature, and this is what they look like. You can see it's kind of green and light colored. And if you were to let it sit on the tree another week or so, they would turn brown. And this is the more shelf-stable version. And if you have access to seeds, I would recommend trying this one time. It's like an experience. You take the seed, you could crack it open like a peanut, and inside is going to be a white kernel, similar to like a peanut. See right there? And that you eat. It's going to be kind of strong flavored, and you know, this amazing tree, the miracle tree, it all started from a seed, and this is it. So all of the power from the tree is locked up right in here. You chew it up and you eat it, you're going to feel a boost of just energy running through your system. But also the interesting is kind of similar to another plant that maybe you guys are familiar with, the miracle fruit, the one that makes things taste sweet. This will also make food taste a little sweet for about 20 or 30 minutes. So you can do that just for fun and eat it and have food taste sweet, but also for medicinal purposes. You can chew one of these up, and then if you were tasting something that maybe was a little bit bitter, I don't know, maybe your aloe isn't bitter at all. I've tried it and it's delicious, but I know some people are more sensitive to flavors.
We're going to start sending seeds with our aloe.
To where if you ate one of these seeds and then you had some aloe, it would taste delicious. Not that it doesn't. I mean, I've had it. I actually like the flavor, but
Very sweet.
it's good. But the other thing I do too is I'll have one of these and maybe have a cup of tea, and then it tastes really sweet. It kind of improves it. So this is the oil that is extracted from the actual seeds, and very powerful for healing your skin. A lot of people are using it, like I said, for psoriasis, eczema, things like that, but also for beauty products. This is becoming a very large, very big ingredient in a lot of the high-end beauty products, especially because of the vitamin B and the vitamin E. And yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
Would you use that for internal consumption as
well? You can. I would just recommend just being very careful where you get your moringa oil from. It's not inexpensive, and it has a very mild taste to where there is a tendency on the market for it to be mixed. You think that you're buying pure moringa oil, and a lot of it is not pure. So if you're going to consume it internally, which ours is 100% cold pressed pure oil, and you totally could use it internally, just be very careful where you're sourcing your products from.
Now, I am curious about the oil. If someone was to try that, internally, drop on the tongue or whatever, are they going to have that sweet effect?
No, you don't really. It only comes from the seeds. You will get skin benefits, but you're not going to have that the taste changing properties.
Okay, so that wouldn't be a valid test to see if you have good oil then.
No.
All right, interesting. I want to try one of those seeds before we leave.
Yeah, here we go. I got this one here.
Oh, excellent. And I can just eat this and chew it up and.
Sure. Oh yeah,
it's a little bit bitter. Great.
It depends on your taste buds.
It's gonna be sweet, nutty. We've had people say it's a little bitter, it's a little dry. But the second, we're gonna be a glass of water. You're gonna try a glass of water, which you know the taste of a glass of water, and immediately you're gonna taste just it's sweet. Everything tastes
texture.
Very sweet.
Yeah, and
very much so.
A lot of people go ahead.
Well, it's funny because, and I think this is the actual seed working because it was bitter at first, almost like a tannin quality.
Right.
And as it's breaking up, all of a sudden you start tasting like a sweetness to it.
Mm-hmm.
And would that be from that
that
you're talking about?
Absolutely. Once it reacts with your tongue, then you definitely get the sweetness. And what I've noticed personally is that first initial flavor of tannins and tartness and bitterness, I usually only get that the first time. After you've consumed a couple of seeds and you're doing it on a daily basis, you really don't get that, and your body desires it, and it really wants it because it knows what's coming, and you don't have that reaction anymore.
That's an interesting experience.
Oh yeah, and then wait until you drink a little water; it'll taste like sugar water. It's amazing.
Sweet.
Yeah, well, it tastes like I have sugar on my tongue right now. Wow, excellent. Where would I get this from? If I wanted your brand, and wanted to order and have it shipped to me, where would I go?
Well, we're in a couple different spots right now. We're in the process of opening up our storefront on Los Olas Boulevard. We are very excited. It's going to be an amazing place.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida, yeah. And but the main thing, what we really encourage people is just go online. It's going to be elgeenatural.com, and that's the easiest thing because you're just going to order. It gets shipped directly to your door. We usually ship within a day or so. And you're able to get your life-changing, vitamins and goodness right to you. You don't have to worry about anything else. And that's the main thing that we kind of...
I'm going to make sure I have that information in the description below the video
that'll be great.
So that anyone can go right to the bottom underneath it and click on a link and find your awesome
Right, and then the other thing too is because I'm a farmer and I put tons of energy, and this is my passion, is creating the highest quality products, whatever that is, that we happen to have some other products on our website as well, and they fall directly into our mantra and the way that we source products and whatnot. I don't physically grow every different product on our website, but because it has passed our credentials, you're getting the highest quality of whatever that is.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen that other footage yet, you have to see the video where we tour your property. You're growing a ridiculous amount and a ridiculous variety of food on a relatively small piece of land. And you can tell it's being done right. In fact, I grow a lot of food here, but I have to glean from you, and you gave us some insight last year when it came to the trees, and I need another one-on-one coaching because you are amazing. I don't understand how you can keep your trees, you know, relatively small size and produce, you know, 10 times as much fruit as I can on a big, huge one, you know, in 7. You are amazing. I said it on the last video. Would that be considered permaculture?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different names for it, but it's basically just
urban farming.
Urban farming, but
Right.
replicating nature. You know, I'm not doing anything crazy other than just doing what nature would do on its own. I'm just kind of guiding it in a certain way to where it's producing food and stuff that I like. But with that process, you get more drought tolerance. You get all these other low maintenance. It's many different benefits to it besides just getting tons of food.
My urban farmer hero. And you know, you did the layers and stuff. You have to watch this video. You will be so amazed at what he is doing to grow his own food. So
Absolutely.
awesome. You guys are the best. I appreciate what you're doing.
it.
There's not many
Thank
like
you,
you.
Michael.
You know, setting that standard way up there. There's not many people that I can say I endorse your product because it is at the same standard I would, you know, I hold for my own company. You guys are, you know, over the top awesome. So
Yeah, that
thank
means a
you
lot
for what
to
you're
us.
doing.
We appreciate it. Thank you.